Are you currently rebuilding credit? This usually involves overcoming a low credit score, which is often due to late payments, missed payments, or charged off accounts. Once a person has a low credit score, it can be difficult to bounce back. But it's not impossible, and many people have done it. So if they've done it, then you can too, and we're happy to help in that journey. One of the best ways to rebuild credit is with a credit card, which might sound a bit contradictory since often credit cards are what originally led many people into debt. But the fact is that if someone is going to rebuild credit, then they're going to need to have good credit habits, which involves using credit responsibly. And thankfully, a credit card is a great place to start. In this video, we'll be discussing the best credit cards for rebuilding credit. This will include information on secured credit cards along with some other cards. We'll also walk through some good credit habits to ensure that you don't end up on the wrong side of credit again. Hello everyone, this is Lewis with HeroBanker.com, and we're your friendly neighborhood bankers. Today, we're excited to discuss the best credit cards for rebuilding credit. As always, we've done all the research and compared the best cards from traditional banks, online banks, credit unions, and more. If you enjoy the content, we would greatly appreciate a click on the subscribe button, and we'd be honored to have you as part of our Hero Banker community. As a reminder, we've defined rebuilding credit as someone who has already established credit, but has made some mistakes along the way. Mistakes include things like late payments, missed payments, unpaid accounts, and charged off accounts. Someone in this situation will usually find it more difficult to obtain credit. This is because credit is a tool that lenders use to see how someone has handled credit in the past. So, if there's a history of blemishes, then the lender will be less likely to approve a loan or a credit card application. Not everyone who is rebuilding credit is in the same situation. Some people might have a better or a worse credit profile compared to others. Someone with a better credit profile will likely have more options available to them. Conversely, someone with a worse credit profile will likely have less options available to them. As we move through some of the different options, we'll do our best to discuss which options are available to whom. The first option that we'll discuss today are secured credit cards. For someone rebuilding credit, a secured credit card is often where the journey begins. This is especially true for someone with bad to poor credit. Someone with a slightly stronger credit profile, let's say poor to fair, might have some other options available to them, which we'll get to later. But really, anyone who is rebuilding credit should be aware of secured credit cards and how they work. So first, we'll walk through how a secured credit card works, and then we'll discuss some of the best secured credit cards on the market. A secured credit card operates differently than a traditional credit card. The major difference is that with a secured card, you will have to provide the bank with a security deposit prior to receiving your card. You can think of this as similar to a security deposit when renting a home. Therefore, this money will be kept by the bank just in case you fail to make the monthly payments. Once the card is closed, you will then receive the security deposit back. Secured cards can be a bit confusing, but basically, you will be funding the credit card with your own money. In order to better illustrate this, let's do an example. Charlie has a credit score of 500, and he's in the process of rebuilding credit. So far, 5 different banks have turned down his application for a traditional credit card. So he decides to apply for a secured credit card with ABC Bank. Charlie walks into his local ABC Bank branch and meets with a banker, who helps him apply for a $1,000 secured credit card. This means that Charlie must provide ABC Bank with $1,000 as a security deposit for the secured credit card. He can provide this in cash or as a withdrawal from one of his accounts. Some lenders may also accept a check or an electronic transfer. Remember, while the secured credit card is open, Charlie will not have access to this money. Instead, the money will be used by ABC Bank as collateral just in case Charlie stops making his monthly payments. The reason why Charlie needs to provide collateral is because when the lender checks his credit, they will see some history of Charlie not paying his prior debts. This makes a lender less likely to extend new credit to Charlie. But if Charlie is willing to provide the lender with a security deposit to cover the possibility of any missed payments, then the lender is more willing to extend new credit to Charlie. Once Charlie receives a card, he needs to be diligent and make timely payments every month. It's also a good idea to consistently pay off the balance every month in full. If he does this for a while, he should eventually be able to apply for a traditional credit card. This is also assuming that his overall credit profile has continued to trend upward. Once he closes a secured card, Charlie will then be given back his initial $1,000 security deposit. Alright, so those are the basics of how a secured credit card works. As we mentioned, secured cards can be a great tool for someone who is rebuilding credit. However, they do come with some limitations that we want to discuss. So, here's some of the pros and cons of a secured credit card. One major benefit of a secured credit card is that they are much easier to qualify for when compared to a traditional credit card. However, there are still some instances where a lender might deny a secured credit card application. Some of the reasons for a decline could include lack of income or bankruptcy. As always, every lender is different. Another benefit of a secured credit card is that it allows you to build positive credit history while making your everyday purchases. Many secured credit cards also pay cash back. So, on top of building credit, you're also earning cash back while making those everyday purchases. The biggest drawback of a secured credit card is that you'll need to provide a cash deposit up front. This can be a major drawback because many people may not have a few hundred or a few $1,000s to provide up front for the security deposit. Another drawback is that the bank will hold your security deposit during the entire time that the card is open. Ultimately, a secured credit card has pros and cons. Only you can decide if it's right for you based on your individual situation and preferences. If there's any questions about secured cards or if they might be right for you, we're happy to help. Please let us know. Before we move on to the best secured credit cards, just a gentle reminder that if you've made it this far, then we would really appreciate a click on that subscribe button. And if you turn on notifications, you'll be the first to know when we post new content. Okay, now let's talk about two of the best secured credit cards on the market. First up is the Chime Credit Builder Secured Credit Card. There's one main reason why we really like the Chime Secured Card, and this is because the Chime Secured Card doesn't require a security deposit. Yep, so after we spent all that time discussing how a secured card works, we're now discussing a secured credit card that truly breaks the mold of how a secured card works. Remember, the biggest drawback of a secured card is a security deposit, and this card doesn't require one. Instead of providing a security deposit up front, you can fund this card anytime you'd like, with as much money or as little money as you'd like. Which brings us to another great benefit of the Chime Secured Card, which is the flexibility that it provides. With most secured cards, your credit line size is determined by your initial security deposit. But again, with the Chime Secured Card, you can fund the card at any time with any amount. For example, every payday you can move $500 over to use on your Chime Secured Card. This will basically provide you with a $500 credit line to make purchases. If you spend that $500 quicker than expected, then you can move over more money anytime you want. Obviously, this method provides a lot more flexibility with your credit card limit and how you fund your card. One major benefit of this method is that the Chime Secured Card doesn't charge any interest. This is because, again, you're funding the card with your own money as you go. However, the Chime secured card does report to the major credit bureaus, and if handled responsibly, you will rebuild your credit. In addition, the Chime secured card has no annual fee, and you're able to apply without a hard credit check. These are some of the benefits of the Chime Credit Builder secured credit card, especially when compared to a regular secured card. So, what are the drawbacks of the Chime secured card? Well, there's probably two. The first drawback is that this card doesn't earn any rewards. As we've discussed, many secured cards do offer rewards. So, with the Chime secured card, that's one thing you'll miss out on. The other potential drawback is that in order to open this card, you must also have a Chime checking account. This is because the deposits that are made into the Chime secured card will come from the Chime checking account. So if you don't want to open a checking account with Chime, then this card may not be best for you. The Varo Believe secured credit card is another secured card that does not require a security deposit. Therefore, this card operates in a similar manner as a Chime secured card. The Varo secured card does require that you have a Varo checking account and receive $500 or more in qualifying direct deposits in the past 90 days. Just like the Chime secured card, this card does not charge interest, and you can fund it as you go with money from your Varo checking account. This card also has no annual fee. For more information on the Chime Credit Builder secured credit card or the Varo Believe secured credit card, check out herobanker.com. We've included links in the video description below. Okay, so those are two secured cards that don't operate like a regular secured credit card. Now, we'll discuss 6 secured credit cards that do require a security deposit. The first card is the Bank of America Cash Rewards Secured. This secured card can be opened with anywhere between $200 and $5,000. It has no annual fee and it pays a flat 1.5% cash back on every purchase, which is great for a secured card. The second card is the Capital One Quicksilver Rewards. This card also has no annual fee and it pays a flat 1.5% cash back on every purchase. Quicksilver secured rewards can be opened with anywhere between $200 and $3,000. This card also includes no foreign transaction fees, so if you travel often, that could be useful. The third and fourth secured cards both come from US Bank. Both of these secured cards have no annual fee, and both can be opened with between $300 and $5,000. Also, both of these cards pay elevated cash back in certain categories. So, if either of these cards fits your spending patterns, then they may be a good fit for you. The US Bank Secured Altitude Go pays 4% on dining, takeout, and restaurant delivery. It also pays 2% at grocery stores, gas stations, and streaming services. Secured Altitude Go pays 1% on all other purchases. Another nice benefit of this card is that it provides a $15 credit for annual streaming service purchases, such as Netflix and Spotify. The other US Bank card is the Secured Cash Plus. This card pays 5% cash back on 2 categories that you choose, on up to $2,000 per quarter. The categories include things like cell phone providers, home utilities, department stores, and fast food. US Bank Secured Cash Plus also pays 2% cash back on 1 everyday category that you choose. The choices here are gas and EV stations, grocery stores, or restaurants. Both the 5% and 2% categories require that you manually make selections every quarter in order to receive the elevated payout. This card pays 1% cash back on all other purchases. The fifth secured credit card is the Bank of America Customized Cash Rewards Secured. This card has no annual fee and it can be opened with between $200 and $5,000. Customized Cash Rewards Secured pays 3% cash back in the category of your choice. The 3% categories include online shopping, dining, travel, and more. It also pays 2% cash back at grocery stores and wholesale clubs. The 3% and 2% categories have a combined cap of $2,500 per quarter. Also, the 3% and 2% categories do require a one-time enrollment. After that, the categories are saved forever, unless you decide to change them. This card pays 1% cash back on all other purchases. The sixth and final secured credit card that requires a cash deposit is the Discover Secured Card. This card has no annual fee and it can be opened with between $200 and $2,500. Discover Secured pays 2% cash back at gas stations and restaurants on up to $1,000 in combined purchases per quarter. It pays 1% on all other purchases. This card also includes no foreign transaction fee on international purchases. Alright, so that's what a secured card is and how it works. Now, let's pivot away from secured credit cards to another type of card that can also be an option. This option includes specialty cards that are designed for people who are rebuilding credit. For most people, this option is probably preferred to a secured card if you're able to qualify. An example of one of these specialty cards is the Petal Visa. At the moment, there's 3 different versions of the Petal Visa. The Petal 1 and Petal 1 Rise are geared towards someone who is rebuilding credit. However, Petal will still run and review your credit. So, this doesn't mean that applying for a Petal card is a guaranteed approval. But for someone rebuilding credit, it is easier to get approved compared to other credit cards. However, Petal specifically lists 3 reasons why an application for credit may not be approved. These reasons include: number 1, verification of identity. So, issues with verifying your identity. Number 2, the ratio of debt in relation to your income. So basically, if you have a lot of debt and not enough income to support that debt, you may be denied. Number 3, upon consideration of other accounts you may have. This probably means that after checking your credit, Petal will take all your current and past credit history into account prior to making their credit decision. Some applicants will also be given the opportunity to link their bank accounts if they so choose. This will allow Petal to receive some of your bank data. Petal will then use that bank data when making the credit decision. The ability to review your banking history is part of the reason why Petal is willing to extend credit to someone with an unfavorable credit history. Therefore, linking your bank account can boost the odds of receiving an approval or a higher credit line. Of course, some people might not like linking their bank account, which is totally understandable. The Petal 1 has no annual fee. The Petal 1 Rise has a $59 annual fee. The APR on the Rise is also a bit higher. Besides that, the cards are mostly the same. For example, both cards pay cash back at select merchants. The specific merchants and cashback offers can vary throughout the year and are personalized. In order to receive cash back, you must meet the terms of each individual offer. So, although some cash back can be earned, it's not cash back on every purchase like a traditional credit card. In addition, all Petal cards have no foreign transaction fees. So, if you travel internationally, this can be useful. Petal also has a highly rated mobile app. When applying, Petal may consider you for multiple cards. Which card you're approved for, if any, will depend on several factors, including those we listed earlier. Once approved, Petal also provides a path to a credit limit increase. You can earn a credit line increase by making qualifying, on-time payments for 6 months in a row. This requires you to pay at least 15% of your monthly statement balance, or your minimum payment, whichever is more, along with meeting other credit requirements. Remember, Petal Visa is a credit card. Therefore, it reports to the major credit bureaus. So, a good payment history will help your credit. and a negative payment history will hurt your credit. Another specialty card option for someone who is rebuilding credit is a slate of credit cards offered by Upgrade. Upgrade is a financial technology company that offers banking products. These credit cards are probably available to someone with a slightly stronger credit profile. This could be described as someone with a fair credit profile. Upgrade credit cards operate differently than most credit cards. These cards are technically part credit card and part personal loan. So, if approved, you'll receive a credit line just like a credit card. You can then access the funds by using the card, or you can choose to disperse the money directly into your bank account. Either way, any outstanding balance will be converted to a personal loan with a fixed interest rate and a fixed monthly payment. Basically, this allows for the convenience of a credit card, with the repayment options of a personal loan, which tend to be more consumer friendly. Therefore, an Upgrade credit card may be a good option for someone who has struggled with good credit habits in the past and is worried about overspending on their credit card. Upgrade credit cards are very innovative. However, they can also be a bit confusing and complex. Fully explaining how they work would require its own video, so we won't get too much into the details. But if you're interested in learning more about Upgrade credit cards, then check out HeroBanker.com, where you can find several card options from Upgrade, including some that pay cash back. Alright, so those are some of the best credit cards for rebuilding credit. All of these are solid options. The one that's best for you will depend on your individual credit, income, and other factors. Keep in mind, rebuilding credit requires maintaining good credit habits. Otherwise, you're likely to end up right back down the rabbit hole of having unfavorable credit. In order to maintain a strong credit profile, always pay on time. Also, if possible, always pay the statement balance in full every month. This will ensure that you avoid paying interest and accumulating debt. Just remember, think of credit as a tool. Credit is either going to help you in life or it's going to hurt you in life. Our goal is to help you make good credit decisions, so you're able to use credit as a tool in your favor. Okay, so that wraps up this video about the best credit cards for rebuilding credit. If there's any questions or feedback, please let us know in the comments below. Also, we would love to hear stories about anyone who has rebuilt their credit. How was the journey for you? Also, which type of credit cards did you use? We'd also love to hear about any topics that you'd like for us to cover in the future. After all, we want to make sure that we're covering topics that are relevant and matter to you. Please let us know in the comments below. We welcome and encourage the feedback. We can also be reached on our social media pages and at info@herobanker.com. Thank you for taking time out of your day so that we can help you become your own financial hero. We hope to see you again soon. If you'd like to see more content like this, we would greatly appreciate a like and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow Hero Banker on social media for updates on banking, finance, the economy, and more. Thank you.